turn left, then I go west. Oh, hey, you know, a lot of people are often lost thinking about math, but I'm actually just lost. Maybe you can help me. In fact, there's a riddle that I want to share with you that might, in fact, help me. Let's take a look at it together and see if you can help me, and we won't be lost. Now, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania is 2,147 miles from Salt Lake City, Utah. And it's 2,868 miles from Portland, Oregon. Here's the question. What is the difference in the round-trip distances between Philadelphia and each of the two other cities? And I want us to see if we can figure out whether we need an estimate or an exact answer. Okay, well, here's part of the map that I was trying to look at. And you can see Philadelphia is located over here. Salt Lake City is over here, and Portland's way up here. And you can see the mileages that we just saw. So from Philadelphia to Portland, it's 2,868 miles, and Philadelphia to Salt Lake City, it's 2,147. Now, if we're looking for what's the difference between the two, which is what we're being asked here, then the question might seem like we should take this number and subtract that number. But the tricky part of this question is the phrase round trip. You see it? Round trip. That means that we go out and come back. And then we go out and come back and take those distances and look for their difference. So this is actually a multi-step little challenge. First, we have to actually do some interesting multiplication. So let's try some multiplication together. Let's take this distance from Philadelphia to Portland, which is 2,868. And now, to get round trip, I have to actually multiply that by 2. Because I go out and then I come back, so there's 2 copies of that length. So this is now a question of multiplication. Great. So now, let's just talk about how you multiply this. And this is kind of fun, because we look at the one spot, and we see we have 8 ones. So 8 times 2 is 16. So 16 is actually 1 10 and 6 ones. So I write the 6 ones, and I regroup and put the 1 10 up here. Now I have 6 tens times 2. That's going to be 12 tens. And that 1 10 is 13 tens. But what's 13 tens? 13 tens is actually 103 tens. So I'm going to put the 3 tens where it belongs, and I'm going to regroup and move the 100 to the 100 spot. Well, I have 8 hundreds times 2. That's actually going to be 16 hundreds, plus an extra 100 is 17 hundreds. But what's 17 hundreds? Well, that's really 1,700. So I write the 700 in the 100 spot, and then I regroup and take the 1,000 and put it with the 1,000 spot. Well, if I have 2,000s and I multiply it by 2, that's going to be 4,000s. And I've got the 1 extra 1,000, so that's going to be 5,000. And so I see a distance, a round-trip distance of 5,736 miles. Kind of fun? Well, we could actually do the exact same thing to find the round-trip distance out from Philadelphia to Salt Lake City and back. And I'm going to do that one a little bit faster. Let's have some fun. Do it a little bit faster. Just a little bit faster. Because it's shorter. It's a faster ride. You see? 2,147 times 2. Okay, so 7 times 2 is going to be 14, so that's going to be 1 10 and 4 ones. And then I have 4 tens times 2 is 8 tens, and 1 10 is 9 tens. So that's going to be 9 tens. And then 100 times 2 is going to be 200. And then 2,000 times 2 is going to be 4,000. And so I see that we have 4,294 miles. Okay. In fact, maybe, I don't know, do you want to write miles? I don't know if you want to write miles. Some people like to write miles. That's actually the abbreviation for miles. But if you don't like that, it's okay. Don't worry, I'll write it in just in case. I don't know what you like. Okay, now, here's the question. The question is, what is the difference in the round-trip distances? So what we want to do now is subtract. Difference means subtract. So now we get to the big punchline. So we see we have 5,736, and we want to subtract off 4,294. And so when we subtract, what are we going to see? Well, what are we going to see? That's a question. Well, if I take 6 ones and subtract 4 ones, we certainly know that I'm going to have 2 ones. So that was pretty straightforward. Now, I can't take 9 tens from 3 tens. So I have to regroup. I look at the hundreds. I see I have 7 hundreds. So I'm going to make it 6 hundreds. Regroup and actually put the, now 100, remember, is 10 tens. So now I'm going to have 10 tens. But I also have 3 tens, so that's actually now going to be 13 tens. So I have 13 tens, and in fact, you know what I might just do is just write the 1 there, and then you can kind of see the 13. You see, 13. 13 tens minus 9 tens is, of course, 4 tens. And if I have 6 hundreds and I subtract 2 hundreds, that's going to be 4 hundreds. And if I take 5 and subtract 4, I take 5,000 and subtract 4,000, I'm left with 1,000. And so what do I see? I see that the difference is 1,442 miles. And now I've done all this work. Let me just clean up a little bit because I'm going to kind of wrap things up with a big finish. Because now we see that that's the difference. And the question is, do we want an estimate or an exact answer? Well, in this case, we see that an exact answer is needed, since the question asks for the difference, not an estimate of the difference, but the exact difference. So in fact, we don't want to actually estimate here at all. We want an exact answer. And notice how we first had to multiply, and then we had to subtract. And doing so was a wonderful opportunity for us to remember how to multiply and how to subtract, and how it's sometimes important to actually regroup. Well, if I now regroup myself, I want to see if I can find my way. But you know what? Now that you've helped me, I see exactly where I'm supposed to go. So thank you for clearing the way and showing me the importance of thinking mathematically. Have fun with math, and I will see you soon.
Let's look at some more problems that involve multiplying with regrouping. So same idea as we did in the previous lesson with your regrouping, we're just adding more digits to it. So don't let it overwhelm you, okay? So let's look at the first problem. Let's look at 600, stop doing that, 699 times 4, okay? Now, when I look at this number, 699 times 4, I'm going to start by multiplying my 4 times the 9 in the ones place. 4 times 9 equals, look at your chart, find your factor of 4 and count over 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we got 36. I need to regroup because I have a 6 in the ones and a 3 in the tens. 6, my 3 is going to go on top of my tens place value, and I'm going to add that to that product when I find it. Okay. Now, my next step is I'm going to multiply, again, that 4, and this time I'm going to multiply it times, I'm going to multiply it times my 9 in the tens place value. So 4 times 9. Okay. And we know that 9 times 4 is 36, so we just got that. But this time, I need to add in this 3. So I'm going to do 36 plus 3. And we know that is 39. So again, I had 2 digits. I'm going to need to regroup. I'm going to put my 9 for my ones in my answer, and I'm going to regroup my 3. Now I'm ready to multiply my 4 times my 6 and my 100s. Find your factor of 4 and count over 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My answer is 24. So this time I have 24, and I'm going to add to it the number 3 because I'm adding 3. 24 plus 3 is 27. You notice up in my number, I don't have a number in my thousands place value. And because I don't have a 1,000s place value here, the number 27, I'm just going to write on the bottom. So it equals 2,796. If I want to know the product of 699 times 4, it equals 2,796. Okay, let's do another one, and I want you to do this one with me. So go ahead and find a piece of paper and pencil and write this problem down on your paper. $824 times 5. We're going to multiply with regrouping. Again, the multiplication chart is there if we need it. If you don't have one at home, if you don't need it, don't use it. Works either way. All right, so now let's multiply. Let's multiply my 5 times my 4, okay? 5 times 4, okay? Find your factor 5, and we're going to count over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got the answer of 20, okay? I have 2 digits there, so I'm going to put the 0 down here in my ones, and I have to regroup the 2 from my 20 up above my 10s. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to multiply my 5 times my 2 and my 10s. 5 times 2. Find your factor of 5. Count over 2. 1, 2. What answer did we get? We got 10 again. This time I have my answer of 10, and I need to add to it the 2 that I regrouped. And altogether we have 12. Now this time I'm writing the 12 on there. Put my 2 down in my answer. The 1 I need to regroup above my 100s place, and I'm going to add it in to that product. Now we're going to multiply 5 times 8. 5 times 8. Find your factor of 5 in your chart. Count over 8. Or you could always skip count by 8. Hold on, sorry. 1, 2, I'm sorry, 5s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We landed on the answer of a 40. Okay? Why does it keep doing that to me? Landed on 40. I'm going to add 1. Okay? 40 plus 1 equals 41. You notice I don't have anything in my 1000s place value. Because I don't have anything there, the 41, I'm just going to write my answer down here because I have nowhere to regroup it to. So 824 times 5 equals 4,120. Do one more, and I'll go a little bit slower on you for this one, okay? So now I'm going kind of fast a little bit. I get carried away. I like multiplying. All right, here is your next one. 6,324 times, let's not do 2, times 3. 6,324 times 3. Let's multiply. Start by multiplying 3 times 4. 3 times 4. Use your chart. What is 3 times 4? Did you get 12? Good. So 3 times 4 is 12. I'm going to put my 2 in my 1s, 2 in my 1s, and I'm going to regroup my 1 up above my 10s. So I'm adding 1 to my next product. 4 times 3 equals 12. What's my next step? Let's multiply my 3 times 2. 3 times 2. Figure out what 3 times 2 is. Three times 2 equals 6, and then you can add 1. So think 6 and 1 more equals 7. Very good. Now 7 is not bigger than 10 or more, so I'm just going to write 7 down here. Whoops. Okay, I don't need to regroup. I don't need to put a number up here because it's not 10 or more. And I only put a number up above the next one if it's 10 or more, and 7 is not. Next up, what are we multiplying next? 3 times 3. What is the product of 3 times 3? 3 times 3 equals 9. Now I'm going to write 9 down here because 9 is not 10 or more. So again, I don't need to put anything up at the top. Nothing goes there because I don't need to regroup. Last two numbers I'm multiplying are 3 times 6. 3 times 6. Do that. Use your chart and tell me what 3 times 6 equals. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Okay, so 3 times 6 was 18. You notice I don't have another place value here above my 1,000th place value. So I'm just going to write the number 18 in my answers. So 6,324 times 3 equals 18,972. Each one you're multiplying, you're going to the next place value. You may need to regroup and put one over there only if it's 10 or more. If it's not 10 or more, you're not going to regroup and put another one on top, okay? Your next couple problems you have to work on by yourself are looking at multiplying with and without regrouping multiple numbers, just like we have done in practice. You'll have your problem and you'll have your multiplication chart here for you, okay? Know that you can always go back and review this video if you need to, or ask your teachers for help. We either need to see the work on your paper you can hold up and show us as you're working, or we need to see the work on the screen. So either way works for us as long as I can see how you're working, okay? You guys got this. Go ahead and stop this video and you can start your next work on your next slide. Okay? You guys are doing awesome.